Baylan Skoll has emerged as one of the more compelling Star Wars villains, sharing a similar history to other fallen Jedi like Count Dooku and some of the Inquisitors, but appearing to have unique personal motives which he holds very close to his chest. The biggest question I think we all have at this point is, what is Baylan's endgame? What was he ultimately hoping to gain by coming to Peridea, and what is the presence that calls to him now? And there are a ton of possibilities surrounding that, but I honestly don't know what to think at this point, and I don't necessarily feel that any of the theories I've entertained are more likely than the others. It all still feels pretty wide open despite only having one episode left. So the question I'm going to address here is why Baylan sent his apprentice Shin Hati on her way while he continues his personal quest. To this point, all we really know about this mission Baylan is on is that he thinks he could find a way to put an end to the repetitive cycle of conflict between light and dark. Now again, we don't know what that could lead him to here. There could be a dark force that Thrawn and the Night Sisters are trying to get away from while Baylan tries to find it. It could be a Bendu-like creature who seeks to set Baylan on a new path. It could be Darth Sidious or one of his servants calling to him for assistance for all we know. But regardless of what is out there, it's reasonable to assume that Baylan could benefit from Shin's assistance, so why did he send her away? Throughout the series, Baylan has expressed his interest in ancient stories and prophecies and how they might affect his destiny along with everyone else's. Shin, on the other hand, doesn't really seem to know what she wants, but she does value power, which Thrawn could provide, and she also sort of dismisses Baylan's statement about the other mysterious and perhaps unfamiliar power that Peridea holds, saying sometimes stories are just stories. To this point, Baylan has played his role as a pawn, but he is no fool. He knows Thrawn will not hesitate to leave himself and his apprentice behind if he has the chance. He has come to a crossroad at this point in the story where he must choose to stay the course with the mission that he has led Shin on, or to pursue this mystery which he is truly there for. Baylan's aspirations go beyond Thrawn, and so his choice is already made, but he feels that Shin's path lies somewhere else, and I don't think he wants to drag her along on this life-altering mission that she doesn't even understand. So he sends her to complete their mission for Thrawn, which will still allow her the opportunity to ascend within Thrawn's new empire and gain the power she desires. Essentially, I do think Baylan could have used Shin on this mission he is now going on alone, but he does care for her, and so he sets her free and allows her to create her own path, whether that leads her to Thrawn or back to him, or even to an alliance with Ahsoka. I personally don't think Shin will be joining Thrawn, at least not for the long haul. It has become clear throughout this series that Shin doesn't really understand what Thrawn or the Jedi have fought for. She's curious about the history of the Jedi, but she doesn't know much about it. Like many before her, Shin has served as a tool for a greater power. And again, that doesn't mean that Baylan didn't care for Shin. I think him allowing her to break from his path and follow her own says that he does, but she needs to go fulfill her destiny now, whatever that may ultimately be. It is also possible that Baylan knows more about this hidden power on Peridea than he has revealed, and he simply feels that Shin wouldn't actually be of any use to him. Perhaps he lets her go because he doesn't need her and the mission would just get her killed, or at the very least trapped on Peridea forever. I think Shin and Baylan have presented a very interesting dynamic throughout this series. They have exceeded all expectations I had for either one of them coming into this series, and honestly, at this point, I'm pulling for them. Obviously, I don't want to see them succeed if their intentions are truly sinister. I'm rooting for the heroes more than anything, but I don't think they're the typical Star Wars villains we're familiar with. I think Baylan has the greater good in mind, even if his view on that is twisted. He's not like Palpatine or Vader or Thrawn. And Shin is the one that I really feel for because she doesn't really understand any of what's going on. She's been trained by this very powerful fallen Jedi, and she's followed him on this wild journey, never knowing what she was really fighting for or who she was fighting against. I kind of see her path either ending in tragedy or redemption, and I definitely think that Ahsoka's offer to help her in episode 7 sets up the possibility for her to change sides. But time will very soon tell what the fate of these characters will be, although I will also say that I wouldn't be shocked if we're left with a couple of cliffhangers or unresolved plot points. I hope that's not the case, but it could also potentially set up a season 2 for Ahsoka, which I think would be a plus for us fans in the long run, but we shall see in the coming days. So let me know what you guys think about all of this in the comments. If you enjoyed this video, please remember to drop a like to support the channel, subscribe to the channel if you are new, and remember, the Force will be with you always.